just outside of town. He described her laugh, how it bubbled up like champagne. He wrote about how they rode the Ferris wheel and how she screamed at the top of her lungs when it stopped at the very top, only to burst into laughter seconds later. He fell in love with her that night. But they never became more than a memory. Thomas, it turns out, was drafted for the war. He left before he could tell her how he truly felt. The letter was filled with sorrow and longing. He spoke of writing to her but never sending the letters, afraid of interrupting her life. He returned years later, only to find her already married, pregnant with me. He said he left town after that. But he never stopped loving her. And he never stopped hoping she was happy. That's when the tone of the letter shifted, softened, deepened. I never wanted to interfere. I just wanted to preserve what we had, those brief, beautiful moments. I wanted to write this letter in case I didn't make it. But life, funny as it is, gave me more years than I expected, and still, I never stopped thinking of you. If this letter reaches you, know this, you were loved deeply, even in silence. Not every love story is meant to unfold. Some are meant to remind us that even fleeting moments can shape a lifetime. I folded the letter slowly. My chest ached, not just for Thomas or my mother, but for a story I never knew existed. A story of two souls who met for a moment in time, and then quietly let go. I sat in that attic for hours, thinking about all the things we never ask our parents. All the secrets they carry, the lives they lived before we were even born. The letter didn't just change how I saw my mother. It changed how I saw myself. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about Thomas. I tried to find him. I searched through town records, made calls to the local Veterans Association, even reached out to some of my mother's old friends. And then, one morning, I received a call. He had passed away. 2 years ago. He had never married. No children. Just one sister who said he spent his whole life tending to his garden, reading poetry, and walking alone through the woods near the old fairground. She told me he left behind a box of letters. Hundreds of them. Most were addressed to my mother. All unsent. I flew out to meet his sister. She was kind, warm, and seemed almost relieved to see me. As if she had been waiting for someone to understand him. Someone to carry the rest of the story forward. She handed me the box, and I've never held anything more fragile, or more important. Each letter was a window into his soul. A record of... I never believed in signs from the universe. Not really. I've always been practical, orderly, logical, a believer in facts over feelings. But all of that changed the day I found the letter. It was just an ordinary Saturday afternoon. I was cleaning out the attic of my childhood home, preparing it for sale after my father passed. The air smelled of dust and old memories, of mothballs and forgotten years. As I rummaged through boxes of yellowed newspapers, broken ornaments, and faded photographs, I came across a small, tin container tucked beneath a stack of old sweaters. It was dented, rusted on the edges, and secured with a leather strap that had long since stiffened with age. I almost didn't open it. But something about the way it sat there, silent and patient, drew me in. Inside, nestled among a few trinkets and a silver locket I remembered seeing around my mother's neck when I was very young, was a single envelope. It was pale brown, edges curled, sealed with wax that had cracked into lines like veins across a hand. No stamp. No address. Just a name in flowing cursive. For Grace. One day, you'll need this. My mother's name. She died when I was 9. I sat back on the attic floor, heart suddenly pounding. My fingers trembled as I held the letter. Who had written it? Why was it hidden away? Why had no one ever mentioned it? And more importantly, why now? I broke the seal carefully, afraid the paper would fall apart. It didn't. It was sturdy, delicate but strong, like the person who had written it knew it would have to endure time. As I unfolded it, the scent of lavender and ink filled the air, faint but unmistakable. And then, I began to read. My dearest Grace. If you are reading this, it means time has done what it does best, moved forward. I don't know when you'll find this. Perhaps you're still the young woman I knew, full of laughter and fire. Or maybe you're older, wiser, carrying the burdens of life that none of us escape. Either way, I hope this letter finds you when you need it most. I stopped reading for a moment. My eyes welled up. I wasn't sure why, maybe because it felt like a voice from another dimension, whispering directly to my mother through time. The letter continued. I want to tell you a story, one that I never had the courage to share. Not because I didn't trust you, but because I wasn't sure you were ready. And maybe, I wasn't ready either. The letter was from a man named Thomas. I had never heard of him. Not once. He wrote about how he met my mother when they were barely 20, at a summer carnival, decades spent loving someone quietly, respectfully, eternally. When I returned home, I placed the original letter back into the tin box, but not before making a copy. I keep that copy on my desk now. Whenever I feel disconnected or overwhelmed, I read a paragraph. Not to remember a stranger's love story, but to remind myself of something deeper. That love doesn't always look the way we expect it to. Sometimes, it's not about presence or passion. Sometimes, love is patience. Sometimes, love is letting go. You see, that letter, this unexpected gift, gave me more than just a glimpse into my mother's past. It gave me clarity. It taught me that lives intersect in ways we may never fully understand. That people shape us, even in their absence. And perhaps most importantly, it taught me that love never really disappears. It lingers. It waits. And when the time is right, it finds its way home. So, if you're watching this, if you've ever wondered about the people who came before you, about the stories buried in attic boxes and sealed envelopes, go look. Go search. Go ask the questions before it's too late. Because you never know what you'll find. You never know what gift is waiting for you in the past.